All right, guys, welcome back. So today, what we're gonna do is look into RTA strategy a little bit. This is from the Dallas meetup. There was a like people who play the game, like do YouTube and stuff like that, had a tournament up on stage, and so you'll recognize some of these names. My bracket went LC33 and Knock and Zadorius, I believe. So we're gonna look at all the matches, and I'm just gonna kind of explain my thought process and how it all went, just to kind of walk through what I think about and what I do when I'm drafting. I talked to a couple people at the meetup, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to see more stuff like that." So this is more stuff like that. Let's take a look. So this is against LC33 first. He has not played it in a while. He's well known for his speedy cleave type attack, and really, really good dude. Really, really good dude. So I'll explain my pick ban here when we get to the end. So I open with Han. I've been opening with Han this whole season. Mine is built in theory to be a singular pick that can split into speed or bruiser, which is kind of been my dream since I've been playing RTA for years and years and years, and it's really hard to do without a couple of particular units. I don't think Han is technically one of those units, but I'm trying to make him one of those units, so I like to pick Han first. The negative of that is it gives the opponent its top two choices in its combo. The positive in that is that I can look at 40% of their combo and try to counterpick. So my strategy is generally based on looking at what they're going to do, not giving anything away since I can still split into speed, and then starting the counterpick right away. So in theory, I'll have 60% of my team countering 40% of their team, plus I can ban one. So in theory, I've countered half their team is kind of my thought. So that's what I went with there. He followed up with a second speed lead and a resetter, and then the bar booster water monster, which is really good against the fire. So he pretty much has his whole combo here. I went with Leo because that nerfs the Tableau, the Beast Rider, and that's about it, those two. And a little bit Jamire because he does damage based on speed. And then the Diana, just because there's going to be a lot of AoE, there's going to be targets that don't really necessarily want to hit Diana, and so my theory is that she would cycle quite a bit. He followed up with Masha, which is really, really nice. In my mind, when I see this, I think we're looking at a Leo ban because 3 units are very, very dependent on Leo not being in the game. So let's see if that's what he did. He did. So if you can predict correctly what they're going to do, that means you're at least seeing their side of the strategy correctly. If you constantly predict what they're going to do and they don't do it, that means you're not processing what they're doing, and that's a bad sign because if you don't know what they're doing, you're probably not picking correctly into how to counter it, right? So that's kind of the thought there. So it's a little thing you can do to kind of get better at the game. So he captures into Han, gets a stun. I don't know that that's enough to necessarily stun 100% with Ethna. I think it has to go a little lower. Maybe I'm incorrect. So that was a little bit of bad luck on my side. Tableau goes off second, which I have not faced these Tableau's comps a lot, and so in my mind, Tableau should go later, but I guess that's wrong because Jamire resets and picks the Tableau back up. So it has to go in front of the Jamire is, I guess, how that works. His speed is not really a problem, even with the speed lead. I'm just way, way slower. So if I want to, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, we're playing best of 3. If I want to play a round 2, his speed is not so super crazy fast that I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm already thinking, okay, round 2, look at the speed, see what I want to do next. Nice massive damage on the Masha and the nice additional turn. Interesting he goes for the Raccoon there. I thought I might have tried to finish off the Han. But he knows he's getting a full another round of stuff, so maybe getting the slow in early was worth it. Because he knows he's going to pick up the Han later, because he's going to get a full another round of his team, is I think the thought. Captures down the Diana, so that doesn't give it Diana bar. Does the same wreck-it thing to Diana, so now they're both sitting in the same spot. And then that massive hit from Jamire just does work. And the Ethna's just going nuts. And at this point now, we're basically done. I'm kind of just seeing what my guys can do against him, because I know I'm playing at least one more match, hopefully 2. So I just need to get a sense of what my turn 2 guys are capable of, right? And Raccoon Vert is not the worst thing in the world. He's, in my mind, done his massive combo. And so I'm like, okay, do we have a chance of picking back up? Maybe these two with something different might have a shot. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. And then the whole combo comes back. But we're fire, so we're in a little bit better shape. Masha's a huge problem. Oh, nice crit. And then now it's just Vert. So I know I'm done. And that Jamire's just wrecking. So that's round 1. Good job, LC. So thinking about round 2, I need to do something different. I'm out because it's your single elimination, best of 3. So I need to figure something out here. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm gonna have to match him for speed, I guess. He opens with Bastet, which from like years past, I know that Bastet is booking. That is a fast Bastet. I don't know exactly how fast, but I'm thinking at least 320. It's quite fast. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to get the Ethna because the Ethna is one of his primary units, and the more I need to get a speed lead. He picks up the Oliver and the Sierra, so he's like, these are my speed leads. Okie doke, they're both wind. I could have maybe come back with a little more fire heavy, but I decided to take Han as my like pocket speed lead, which is really, really nice. And then the Varisa, which I really like. So he goes wind and then fire, and then I finish up with the uncontrollable fire monster. So I'm thinking this guy counters pretty much all of this except for the bomber. So I'm in pretty good shape here. I ban the Oliver. It's hard to predict exactly how Oliver is going to wreck your time in your team. I know that giving his Bastet another 9 speed over the Sierra is a problem. And then Oliver's just a little bit hard to plan for. Sometimes you think you're going to be fine, but when you're trying to outspeed, if they get even one turn with Oliver, it can just decimate your whole team. So I was like, no, we'll deal with this. The Sierra is the main source of damage. I've got some, I think I'm going first. I've got some options with this monkey, so I feel pretty good. It's kind of my thought there. I take the lead so that I can get the Varisa. Varisa's faster. So then what's nice about Varisa is attack down and glance. Like, you can count on glance to help you out pretty well. It's not guaranteed, but it's pretty helpful. So I feel pretty good about that. He gets the boost. He gets the trap. Unfortunately, the glance doesn't work there. Glance doesn't work great there, so I'm in kind of a spot. But my Han's got a lot of HP, so I'm feeling okay. And the Varisa is damage and bar control, which I really, really like. So she's kind of holding down the fort a little bit. Now we get the monkey back up. 1 proc and the monkey wrecks, and then Ethna does her job, and now we're in really good shape and we're done. So that worked pretty well. It wasn't the cleanest, but it worked pretty well. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do in the game 3. Try to match speed for speed. He now knows where my Varisa sits. I know where his Bastet sits in terms of speeds. So that's my plan. I'm going with the Ethna again because it's just so good, and he goes double water into that, so I'm feeling really confident. I'm just going to run it back. I'm like, okay, I'll run the same stuff. That all worked great. I take the Leo this time. My guys are additional damage based on HP for the Han. The more is based on attack. They kind of cycle, so I feel like they kind of work well with the Leo. So that's my thought there. And then over here, the Leo nerfs the Beast Rider, which to me is the only source of damage because I know I'm banning that Carlos. I'm going to be killing stuff. He's going to be killing stuff. I do not need that Carlos going into all my win units, so I know I'm banning that. He lets the Leo through, which, I don't know. Banning the Varisa letting Leo through, it's hard to say because he left me with a lot of damage and a lot of cycling. But he's probably locking down turn 1 is the thought, right? Because he knows his Bastet's fast. He doesn't really know how fast my Ethna is because last time Ethna didn't have a speed lead. It was just a dark lead. So I don't really know how my Ethna stacks up. So my Ethna is faster, so that's unfortunate because I think he was kind of banking that it wasn't. I mean, going into the Leo without Will was a little bit problematic because in theory I could get the pushback there and jump ahead. But my Ethna was fast enough to get in there and just wreck the plan. Ethna going first was really, really devastating for that Bastet. And here's Oliver doing all the things. And we're not done yet. I mean, Han's in trouble. He's got a Nana. Like, this is not over. Getting that Bastet to just die was really, really nice. So now I've killed Bastet twice. I'm going for 3. Nice little counter. I know that Bastet's going to die again, so I'm just going to let it die. And then I need to go get that Oliver. So now we're feeling really good here because the Leo's just so strong. And then that's it. So kind of an adapting strategy. The first one I tried to go turn 2. That did not work at all. And I think probably what helped me more than anything was that Elsie hadn't played in a little while. And maybe was a little rusty or something. Because I feel like had he pushed with his Tableau, he would have been in way better shape, I think, because the Tableau's a little bit problematic for me to deal with. Just a thought. All right, so now we play Nock, who is super lucky on LD pulls. I watched his video the other day of him getting like 2 LD5s out of like 10 scrolls. What the heck? Really, really cool guy. I hadn't met him in person before, so that was kind of cool. So he won his fight, I think, against Childish. I can't remember. Who he was up against before. So a little bit different. Actually, that's what's kind of, I think, fun about this tournament is that to some degree, my drafts were pretty different. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I went with Oliver first because I'm like, I don't know what he's going to do. In my mind, he wants to do something really fast. That might be wrong. So I'm like, okay, I'll just get the Oliver, take the first speed lead, and go from there. He takes the more Verd, which is very nice. I still don't really know what he's going to do, so I just take my double LDs, the Han and the Yanhong, to be like, okay, I'm going to see what you do and try to counter it. He goes with the Chung Pung and Volantis, so I take 2, in my mind, counters. the Juno and the Raccoon. He follows up with the Tableau. So he's got double speed lead. Volantis probably pretty fast to strip for Chungpung. The Verd might be swift. I don't know. Is kind of how I read this going in. I don't really remember what I banned here. I think I'd like to ban Verd or Tableau. I think I'd probably ban Verd in this situation. Yeah. I did not know he's going to ban Yanhong. I think maybe he thinks he wants to go first and thinks Yanhong's a big threat, which maybe it is. I don't know. But, like, Volantis is a problem. Volantis going crazy amounts of turns with Verd is a huge problem. Same with Chungpung. I'm not a fan of them getting the Tableau effect and getting a ton of turns, but what are you going to do? You got to pick one or the other, right? Which is why this is his team and it's so strong. He's taking basically double turns with his nice LD with these two units. Could I ban the Volantis? Maybe, but I don't think so. I think that gives too many turns to the Moor. So that's kind of my thought process there. I'm pretty happy with this team. I mean, it's got a lot of things that are great. The Juno's going to be really, really hard for him to kill. The Raccooni's going to do work. So I feel okay going into this draft. Looking at the speeds. Turn 1 Tableau. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about Tableau because I don't have it. But in my mind, you'd like to go... Like, he gives everybody, like, a second shot, right? So you'd like to have at least one unit go before to then get to go again, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'm incorrect there. So now what I'm looking at is I'm like, okay, how am I doing, right, in terms of bars? Obviously, things aren't great. I'm triple stunned and triple glanced. But the taunt doesn't matter for the stun units because they're stunned. Let's see what it gets here. Gets all the bar, even on my fire units. So that's not great. I'm taking quite the hit, but I know Juno's going to come back. Nice little stun on Volantis. Nice triple stun on that dice. But again, how bad is it? It's not that bad. I'm not seeing third bar down. I'm not seeing half bar down. So I'm hanging in there. So I just got to be like, okay, I just got to weather the storm. I've got double cleanse. I've got strong units into what he's doing. I got to kill this Volantis. I'm more than happy to use Juno into the Volantis because if he stuns me back, that's just free healing and a speed buff, right? So once I get the Volantis down, I'm looking for weak units. I found the Chungpung a little weak, went for him, and then now we're done. So after this match, what I'm thinking to myself is, I just need to tank him out because that was sort of a mid-range. It wasn't just like a turn 1 everything comp on his part, and it didn't do enough early to make me want to race it, right? I can just tank it out and eventually overcome it is kind of what I'm thinking for round 2. So that's kind of my mindset. I'm like, okay, based on what I saw, I can do something similar and just kind of tank it out. Trying to dig into his box a little bit. I don't know how much the more matters to him, but I have one, so I might as well grab it. As soon as I saw that, though, I was like, oh, I should have taken the Juno. I know he's got Volantis. Juno's the perfect counter. Why didn't I? So then I take the Verd this time because I'm like, he wanted it last time. Beelzebub, very nice. And then I just go even more sustained, a little bit of control, a little bit of turn cycling, and then strips for this Shizuka because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to let the Shizuka through. He bans the Praha, very interesting. Which is the big strip, I guess. The Moor's a little bit of a strip, and the Yanhong's a little bit of a strip. I ban this thing, because this is just a massive amount of damage. The rest of it is kind of control-y. The Volantis eventually be damaged. The Abellio eventually be damaged. Mine's kind of a similar thing, except in my mind I'm taking more turns, because I'm cycling. So I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I can take it out. I feel like I can cycle it out. That's kind of my plan. I go first, look at the bars. So his fastest unit is the Volantis. And I know from my Yanhong, I know from my Moor, I know from my Raccoon that he's probably 25 to 30 speed behind. So that means every full round my team takes, I'm gaining half a full turn. With the Verd, I might be gaining 3/4 of a turn. So in terms of the longevity of my team, with the cleanse of Raccoon, I think I'm in really good shape. Every round we play, I think I get more and more ahead. Is kind of how I read that. And now we're just like, whatever, we'll just Verd it up. Nice little double stun there. And already we've got quite a bit of damage on that, what do you call it? Shizuka. So that's pretty nice. I'm like, oh, okay. It's squishier than I would have expected. So I can just kind of lay into it, and I should be in good shape. Banning the Pra makes sense with the Shizuka, because I can't just get rid of all those. He's going into the Raccoon pretty hard. Raccoon's nice and tanky. No sweat. Gonna boost him up. Which every one of those boosts get me further ahead too. Like, the fact that Yanhong can do that much damage on the Shizuka is very, very encouraging. So now I'm just kind of laying into him, letting my turns roll, trying to outlast his cooldowns, and that was very, very nice double stun. And I feel confident. I feel like my thought from match 1 is still good. I can just outlast him, and then from that damage from the Moor, I think that's accurate. Now I just need to slowly burn everything down, and I think I'm in good shape. That was kind of what I was thinking there. And then we're done, because we're 4-2. So GG's knock. We are going on to the final. Playing Zadorius, which that's not what that says as far as I know. But he's a really, really cool guy from Spain. He had a really tough comp for me to crack. And I didn't know what he had going in, so that's why he put down Vanessa. I'm like, I don't know what you have. I'm going to throw something neutral out here. Then he went Ragdoll Nana. I'm like, oh, you want to live forever and take a million turns with Ragdoll. Got it. That's problematic. Because that's a really, really hard thing to out-tank. Just because you live for so long. He doesn't have any healing yet, so I know he's got to bring some sort of healing. He goes with the Abelio for the healing and the Kinky as the tricky to kill damage dealer. Okay, so I was going to say, the Dominic I think is a great pick into the Kinky, into the Ragdoll, so he bans it. So going in with this lineup into this, I feel okay-ish. I've got healing, I've got turn cycling. I took his turn cycling out. It's just how long is he going to live? He's going to live forever. He's got multiple defense breaks, 1, 2, 3 defense breaks. And then the Kinky is the big kicker, and the Abelio is the big follow-up. I have one source of defense break that can't do much against the healer or Kinky, so I feel like he's in pretty good shape here. And I went big res lead. So I'm checking, I'm testing out the units. What I'm seeing there is that Vanessa is super tanky. Because only hit that hard with my Han. It probably has minus damage from water, probably not minus damage from dark. That would be unlikely. So that's not a lot of damage. The damage I did to the Abelio from the Yonhong is pretty solid, but I don't think I really notice it there. I'm really lucky to only get a stun there and not a defense break. But I have the big res lead. Again, resist, but still a ton of damage for not having defense break. Had he defense broke me, I would have been in really bad shape. I'm pouring it all into the Vanessa, which is okay. It's taking a little while. I still feel pretty good. But same thing. He got me low. I caught up. I got him low. He caught up. I'm doing the double boost with the Yonhong and the Rakuni. Feeling good about that. And then I'm like, you know what, Abelio, you're weak. I'm going to go into you a couple times. We'll see what happens. And now I feel great. That was not ideal, that big hit, but that was pretty good damage. That's a killable unit. I just got to make sure I don't die in the meantime. I got to keep my sustain up. I'm going pretty low. Was that the correct boost? I think so, because it boosts into the Rakuni. Now we switch back to the Vanessa. That was a mistake, probably. Right, there's the rest, so now we're on 0 orbs. Oh, we're pretty low. Oh, nice proc. That proc was real bad for me. We're still kind of doing it, though. I mean, we're back and forth, back and forth. This is a good match. Like, this match makes me feel not as bad as I thought I would going in, because in my mind, he's like a G3, you know? Like, he's got it going on. That was deadly. The one defense break on a fire unit, and he just nukes me out, and now I'm even more behind. The Nana gets another orb. I mean, I'm not out, but I'm in big trouble because I don't have a great solution for that Kinky. I just gotta start killing stuff. And if I was able to survive a Ragdoll, I would love to ban that Abelio, but I'm not convinced I can survive a Ragdoll in that comp. The amount of cycling he'll take on me, since I'm a lot of crit, I don't know. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, but it's dicey, you know? So round 2, I'm like, all right, we're gonna try to speed it up a little bit. Same thing we did with the LC-33. Double fire, so I go double water. I think these play great into those 2 units. He takes the Dominic, which maybe he's thinking of my last pick, or maybe he just loves it into these water units. Not bad, not bad. And then I go Han Vrisa, because I really like Han Vrisa. Ban the Ragdoll. Gotta ban the Ragdoll. That's what makes Ragdoll so good. Like, do you want to get a million turns for free just for sitting there? Have a Ragdoll. Like, literally, you could put pure HP on a Ragdoll and just let it sit there, and the rest of the team gains tons of turns for free. It's like Verd that never has to attack. It's so good. Element neutral. So good. So having, in my mind, to ban the Ragdoll to be able to keep up makes him get a team that I also don't want him to have. I don't want him to have a 33 lead and an Abelio and this. Like, that's so good. That's why Ragdoll is always good. Always, always good. So we get the nice glance attack down, which I love from Vrisa. Nice little double glance. Nice stun. Not as much damage as you'd see otherwise because of the attack down and the glance. Kill it once. Gotta kill it again. Probably should have gone into the Dominic there. That was a mistake on my part. I could have gotten it down more. Vrisa's gone. Back into the Dominic. Dominic's gone. Trying to kill this Abelio. Trying. They're hard to kill. You just have to additional damage them, which I have that, but man, they're hard to kill. So Han's now down. Get the Masha down. Get the Masha dead. Now we're like, okay, can we do this? The Abelio's still doing tons of work. I'm pretty low. So I'm like, you know what? I got to go all in on these units. Like, gotta try to kill this Abelio if I can. I'm still trying to work on both, really. I'm just trying to control. I'm trying to give myself the opportunity to Despair Stun. I'm trying to get basically all the things. Oh, poor Miles. Get him. Kill it again. Nice initial turn. Gets him really, really low. He doesn't have his heal, and now it's one-on-one, which I feel like I can win this. So it's skin of my teeth, but I do manage to win one, so I was happy about that. So now we're 1-1. I think it's best of 5. So I'm like, okay, not bad, not bad. Can I do it again? I'm like, more. More worked great. We'll do more again. He's picking the same thing. I go a little more turn 2 again, so he goes massively turn 2. And then I'm like, hey, Varisa and then Fire Monkey, why not? Arda, such a good pick. Arda Rag. Stoic, are you watching this, man? He's got your stuff. Arda Rag. And that Arda's, I think, perfectly placed. Like, there's going to be stuns coming out. There's going to be crits from me coming in. It's going to be good. And I wanted to ban either Abelio or Arda, and letting the Kinky through was really, really sad. But in my mind, Fire Monkey can kill a Kinky over time, even not critting, because Fire Monkey does so much damage. So that's kind of my thought. I'm like, okay, it's possible. Get everything again. Thank you, Varisa. You're so great. Take Varisa again, because this bar pushback is so nice. It's 40% each hit, and then it starts doing ignore defense when it gets the bar gone. So we're trying to start... We cannot kill through that Vanessa. We know that. We cannot hit through that Vanessa. We got to kill the thing twice, which is what makes his team so good. He brings Nana. Sometimes you have to kill him 3 times. He brings Ragdoll. They're getting bar. Like, he knows what he's doing with turn 2. Let me say that. They are working that Varisa, which I'm pretty impressed she's hanging in there as long as she is. Like, she's, in my mind, not as big of a threat now since she's done her stuff. But, hey, she's back. And Varisa's just hanging tough. I'm like, I'm okay. But again, he needs 1 defense break and 1 Abelio hit, and I'm in big, big trouble. And there it is. Like, he knows how he gets his kills, right? And they work. It works great. I'm not completely out, but I'm not in great shape. And really, I feel like I gotta go for that Vanessa, but I really want to kill that Abelio. He's just a constant threat into my Fire Monkey. Like, he's such a problem. But here I'm feeling great, right? I'm like, oh, I'm looking good. Oh, look at that Raccoon die again. Raccoon defense broken. Such a problem. Such a problem. And I'm not completely out, right? I'm feeling okay-ish. That was this lucky, lucky defense break. And he's just trying to get a kill. He gets it. Now it's just Fire Monkey against the world. Not likely. And cleans it up. Close, but not quite enough. So now I'm down 2-1. So this is match point. Han first pick. I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to do that thing that you haven't shown you can beat yet. I'm like, all right. I'll take the Shizuka Yanha. We'll see how that goes. And then I'm going to say, maybe you get your Ragdoll, right? I finally banned the Abelio. I'm like, you have no healing, right? I have non-critting damage, except these guys kind of crit. Can I cut through a Vanessa, Nana, Ragdoll? I don't know. But I'm glad I get to see it, because the threat of this is what I've been trying to play around this whole time. And I'm like, can I just go right into it? Let's try it. My theory is if I can get Nana out, or stunned or something, I put myself in a less likely to just get abused position. Oh, that proc. If it wasn't for that proc, looking at the bars, there's a chance that Han is just fine, right? But that proc, oh my goodness, so good. And then now he's back to where he started. He hasn't even technically lost a life. Get it down again. Now we got to get it a 3rd time. Hang in there, little guy. Every time he defense breaks, I'm so threatened. All right, so that's the 3rd time. Working on a 4th time. Up. Up. Yep. Just those little tight windows are so nice for him. But I think had I played him another 5 times, I would love to keep taking cracks at this team, because it's a tough team for me. I think the Shizuka was somewhere in the range of the correct answer, because he banned it. Like, clearly he knows that's a bit of a problem for him. But I didn't quite get it. I was not able to protect against the massive bar boost, anything like that. So good job him. And yeah, that was the tournament at the Meetup Dallas. So hope you guys enjoyed kind of the walkthrough of my thought process, what I did, and how it all went. And thanks everybody for watching the channel. Catch y'all next time.